Go to any garden centre, pick up any seed packet and turn it over. It will tell you the exact same thing. Requires 6 to 8 hours of full sun. If you have tall trees, a privacy fence, or a house next door casting a shadow over your yard, the gardening industry is telling you that your land is mathematically useless for growing food. So you give up. You leave that side of your house empty, and you go back to the grocery store to spend $1,500 a year on produce. That full sun rule is a multi-billion-dollar lie. It is designed to sell you high-maintenance annuals like tomatoes and peppers that die every winter, so you have to buy them again. Meanwhile, up to 40% of your property's square footage is sitting there doing absolutely nothing. You are paying property taxes on dirt that the industry convinced you was agriculturally dead. It isn't. There are 12 high-yield food plants that evolved specifically to grow in the shadows. Under trees, behind fences, in the dark, wet corners of your yard you haven't looked at in years. 2 of them sell to high-end restaurants for $20 a pound. 3 of them will permanently delete leafy greens from your grocery bill. Stop letting half your property sit empty. Here is exactly what you plant in the dark. Here is why nobody talks about shade gardening as a food strategy. Nature does not have empty space. Walk into any old-growth forest. The canopy blocks 80% of the sunlight, but the forest floor is absolutely packed with life. Shrubs, roots, fungi and greens evolved to thrive in the understory. They don't need direct sun. They run on a completely different biological engine. But the agricultural industry can't monetize a forest floor. They need uniform rows in flat, baked earth fields. They trained you to think that if your yard doesn't look like a commercial wheat field, you can't grow food. We are going to turn the darkest part of your property into an asset. And we're starting with the plants that grocery stores charge the most for. These 3 thrive in deep shade and command ridiculous prices in the commercial market. Number 1. Ostrich ferns, fiddleheads. In the spring, high-end chefs pay foragers $15 to $20 a pound for fiddleheads, the curled, immature shoots of the ostrich fern. You can buy the roots once for $10, plant them in the swampiest, darkest, most ignored corner of your yard, and they will spread automatically. They want shade. They want wet ground. They will give you a luxury harvest every spring that you literally cannot find at a standard supermarket. Number 2. Hostas. Yes, the decorative plant sitting in front of every suburban house in America. What the nursery industry didn't tell you is that hostas are a perennial vegetable. In Japan, the early spring shoots, called urui, are harvested just as they emerge and eaten like asparagus. They are completely shade tolerant, indestructible, and you probably already have them growing in your yard right now, disguised as landscaping. Number 3. Wine cap mushrooms. This is the ultimate dark corner hack. Buy a $25 bag of wine cap mushroom spawn. Throw a layer of hardwood wood chips in a completely shaded spot. Mix the spawn in. Water it. That's it. For the next 3 years, after every heavy rain, that pile of dead wood will produce pounds of massive, burgundy-coloured mushrooms that sell for $12 a pound at farmers markets. 0 sunlight required. These leafy greens actually hate the summer sun. Planting them in the shade prevents them from turning bitter. Number 4. Swiss chard. If you plant chard in full sun in July, it bolts, turns incredibly bitter, and dies. If you plant it in dappled shade behind a fence, it produces massive, tender leaves all summer long. A $3 seed packet will give you $50 worth of greens that prefer being kept out of the spotlight. Number 5. Sorrel. It has a bright, lemony flavour. It costs $4 for a tiny, wilted plastic box at the grocery store. Sorrel is a perennial. Plant it once in partial shade and it comes back every year. The less direct sun it gets, the more tender the leaves remain. Number 6. Watercress. This is a superfood that stores price like a luxury item. It naturally grows along the edges of shaded streams in the woods. If you have a low, wet, shady spot in your yard, where grass refuses to grow because it's too damp, that is a watercress goldmine. Number 7. Wild leeks, or ramps. These grow strictly under the canopy of deciduous trees. They take a few years to establish, but a mature ramp patch is a permanent food asset. They taste like a hybrid of garlic and onion, and foragers absolutely strip forests bare, trying to sell them for $20 a pound to city restaurants. Grow your own under that oak tree in your front yard. If you think you need a sunny orchard to grow fruit, you are listening to the wrong people. Number 8. Alpine strawberries. Modern commercial strawberries are genetic freaks designed to survive shipping. They need full sun and constant fertilizer. Alpine strawberries are wild. They evolved on the forest floor. They are tiny, they pack 10 times the flavour of a store-bought berry, and they actively prefer dappled shade. They will quietly colonise the shaded borders of your yard. Number 9. Black currants. Currants are understory woodland shrubs. They naturally grow in the shadow of larger trees. They produce clusters of dark, tart berries that are perfect for jams, baking, or freezing. A half pint at a specialty grocer is $6. A bush planted in the shade of your fence will produce 10 pounds of them year after year. Number 10. Gooseberries. The cousin of the currant, extremely shade tolerant, almost completely ignored by the modern commercial fruit industry because they have thorns and don't ship well. Plant them where nothing else grows, ignore them, and harvest bowls of tart fruit every summer. Finally, the indestructible fillers. These two will survive almost zero direct sunlight. Number 11. Mint. Grocery stores charge you $3 for 6 sprigs of mint inside a plastic coffin. Mint is so aggressive that if you plant it in the dark, it will still try to take over your property. Put it in a pot, shove that pot in a shaded corner, and never pay for mint again. Number 12. Garlic chives. Unlike normal onions that need sun to form large bulbs, garlic chives are grown entirely for their flat, grassy leaves. They flourish in partial shade. You can cut them down to the dirt with scissors and they will start regrowing the next morning. If you're going to turn your dead zones into food, you need to understand how the understory works. Here are the survival rules. Rule 1. Shade doesn't mean dead dirt. Full sun gardens run on solar energy. Shade gardens run on soil biology. Think about a forest floor. It's covered in decaying leaves, organic matter, and compost. If the corner of your yard is shaded and the dirt is hard, compacted clay, nothing will grow. You have to mimic the forest. Throw compost and dead leaves on that spot before you plant. Rule 2. The watering math is backward. Because the sun isn't hitting this part of your yard, water doesn't evaporate quickly. The number one way people kill shade plants is by watering them on the same schedule as their sunny tomato beds. You will drown the roots and rot the plants. Check the soil first. If it's damp, walk away. Rule 3. Contain the aggressors. Mint and hostas do not care about your property lines. Mint spreads through underground runners. Plant it in a container or it will become your new lawn. Here is the honest limitation of shade gardening. You are not going to grow a 2-pound slicing tomato in the dark. You are not growing watermelons. You are not growing corn. Plants that produce massive, sugar-heavy fruiting bodies require maximum solar radiation. That's physics. Shade gardening is for leafy greens, understory berries, herbs, and fungi. Growth in the shade is inherently slower than growth in the sun because the plant's engine is running on less fuel. But slower growth is better than no growth, and free food from a shaded corner is infinitely better than paying property taxes on a patch of dead dirt while spending $1,500 a year at the grocery store. Square footage is money. If you own a quarter-acre lot and a third of it is locked in the shade of a fence or a neighbour's house, the agricultural industry wants you to believe that land is useless. They want you to leave it empty, buy grass seed, and then drive to their commercial partners at the grocery store to buy the greens and berries you could have grown yourself. It is a perfectly designed system of manufactured dependence. Nature doesn't leave space empty, only humans do that. Take $40 this weekend, pick the darkest, wettest, most useless corner of your property. Put ostrich ferns, hostas, or wine cap mushrooms in the dirt, and watch what happens when you stop fighting your land and start using the biology that was already there. There are dozens of other ways the system is quietly draining your wallet every single month, from the water you use, to the heat escaping your house, to the food you buy. This channel exists to find those leaks and show you exactly how to close them. We dig up the solutions they buried, and we do the math they hope you never do. Subscribe if you're ready to stop overpaying for survival. I'll see you in the next one.